Hello everyone, and welcome back to my home here in East Tennessee on this last day of April 2021. I wanted to go ahead and do a orchid blooms tour with you all and just share with you what's going on with my plants. They're all elongating spikes, and I'm even getting some new leaves on some of my phals now, some new canes on my dendrobiums, and of course my beautiful Cattleya Gct Lawless Gloriana. She is still in full bloom, and I know that she is a favorite to many of my viewers, and I wanted to make sure that she got front and center on this video so you all can enjoy these gorgeous blooms. I love this Cattleya. I've had her almost 20 years, and every single spring she blooms for me. She's one of my absolute favorites. And I wanted to highlight this plant as well. This is my Phal speciosa times equestris rosea, which is otherwise known as Buddy Orchid. This one is named after my miniature schnauzer, so you know it's one of my favorites. My daughter picked this out at a garden center about 11 years ago when it was so cold outside. And I was really not wanting to bring a phal home that day. It was really cold. It was the middle of February and it was snowing. So I told her, if you go and find a box for it, I'll think about it. And boy, she got right to work. She had everybody in that garden center working with her to find a box for us to transport this in, because I knew that if I took it out in the parking lot uncovered, that all of the blooms would just fall off of it. So this has been an awesome plant. It's one of my favorites. My daughter was telling me the other day it's also one of hers as well. It has 2 primary spikes on it this year with 50 blooms, and it's just a showstopper. This is my best bloom cycle on this plant, and I had to share it with you because it's just gorgeous. And here's another one of my phals that I get a lot of questions about. This is Sogo Lawrence Tahiti Sunset. And so many people have asked me, what is the name of this beautiful orchid? It is absolutely stunning. When you sit here and look at it, it looks like a Hawaiian sunset. That's what it reminds me of. The colors on this one, it's just absolutely beautiful. This year, I have 2 primary spikes and a secondary spike on this one. And then I have another one that is behind this one. And the colors are a little bit different. They're slightly smaller, but they're the same plant, but they're slightly different, which I think is very charming. And here's one of my larger phals that has bloomed profusely this year. This is the best bloom cycle on this one as well. This is my Phal Baldan's Kaleidoscope. And I think that the colors on this one are absolutely beautiful. And the spike just keeps elongating on this one and on my Phal Pirate King, the one that's right behind it. These two really go well together. I have them back here in the back of my sunroom. They look like just a huge yellow and red profusion of blooms. It's just gorgeous. And then there's Magic Art. Every one of these blooms is slightly unique and different. It's like an artist truly did paint each one uniquely, and it's gorgeous. And this one is my daughter's favorite phal. She told me the other day. I can actually see why. It's just, when you look at it, you can hardly speak. It is so pretty. This has some gigantea in it. The leaves are huge. The leaf span of that plant is probably about 3 feet. And then the spike on this one is also elongating. And I am counting that I'm going to have 8 new blooms other than the 20 that I already have on that plant. So that is definitely an overachiever. And this is my Phal Diamond, which several of you have made comments on this one and have added this one to your collection. I can definitely see why. This is a wonderful plant and the blooms are just absolutely gorgeous. I have it beside of Magic Art because the colors are complementary to each other, but I love the red purple splotches of this bloom. And in my opinion, it doesn't get better than Phal Legato. This is just such a beautiful bloom on this orchid. I was counting today. It has been in bloom since October and it's had 22 blooms on it so far. And I've got 6 buds that are in process right now. So I'm gonna have even more Phal Legato blooms to share with you all. That is exciting to me. But I think this is absolutely a showstopper. I love this plant. I've had her for 12 glorious years. Wow, I just really love this orchid. And here's another overachiever. This is my Red Poeker, and oh my goodness, it got blooms all over this plant. And I've got an entirely new spike that has elongated from another spike of 10 buds that are starting to bloom. So this year's bloom cycle has really been magnificent. So I couldn't wait to share this one with you all either. It's very, very pretty little plant, compact, and it blooms well. And here's another one of my Sogos. This is Sogo Vivien, and she's blooming beautifully this year as well. It seemed like every time she was starting to bloom, we would get some cold weather and the temperatures would bottom out and it would just drastically affect the temperatures and the humidity in my sunroom. And so I did have some bud blast on her, but she's made up for it. She just keeps producing more buds as well. They really do want to bloom for you. So this is a really pretty little bloom cycle on this plant. I believe in all she's had about 50 blooms this year herself. So she's an overachiever too. I'm proud of her. And while I'm showing some individual plants in this tour, I wanted to make sure to show you all my African Violet frozen in time. Several of you have made comments on this one, and it is blooming magnificently. I've never seen an African Violet bloom. I can hardly water it because there's just blooms everywhere. There's even blooms up under the leaves. So I had to share with you this beautiful little plant. And I didn't get to my dendrobiums this video, but I'm going to do a separate video on those because I've got several things going on with them that I want to share with you all. And I wanted the last shot to be a close-up of my beautiful Phal speciosa times equestris rosea. I just think this is such a beautiful little plant. And before we go, I'd love to say the blessing over you and your families. The Lord bless you and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you his shalom peace. You all make it a great day, and we'll see you next time.